In the Meantime with Mean Dave, episode 14, The Fart Awakens, with your host, Mean Dave.
We're back. That's right. I never thought I'd be doing this again, but someone convinced me to do this. We are back with In the Meantime with Mean Dave, with a whole new show. It's not like the old one, honest. We've got more production value. I've got a place to do a monologue. I've got a set in a house to do interviews. Things are different. It's a whole new revamped Christopher Nolan reboot of In the Meantime with Mean Dave, with myself, Mean Dave, and my new producer JR, who is behind the camera over there. Say hi to him, JR. They can't see you, JR. Just give him a wave. Give him a wave. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay. So, without further ado, I have a monologue prepared. Alright? Get ready for some fucking kick-ass jokes, okay? Sarah Palin was announced. She released her 4th book this week, or some week. I don't know. I didn't write this joke. But Sarah Palin released a 4th book. I don't know how it's possible to have written more books than you've read. Star Wars finally is released. Finally came out to rave reviews and whatnot. Star Wars, where the original 1977 classic had Darth Vader, a underdeveloped man, underdeveloped man who loved machines, rejected his humanity, and served the state. In other words, every 40-year-old who is lining up to see the new Star Wars. I've seen the new Star Wars, and here's what happens. Turns out the chick is a dude, and she's the killer with the ice pick in the end of the movie. Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors, they recently ended their winning streak. They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, I think. I think that's the team name, but yes, they lost. What losers. So yeah, I went to a game recently, and I saw, based on the people attending games, a lot of doctors, a lot of lawyers, a lot of executives, a lot of techies. Golden State Warriors, more like the Golden State Parachutes. Yeah. What?
Parachutes?
Yeah. Well, parachutes is a term for severance payouts for executives when they leave a firm. I actually had to Google that myself after the writer wrote that joke. So, yeah. If you missed the Republican presidential debates this past week, don't worry. All you have to do is watch Robert De Niro talk to himself in a mirror in the movie Taxi Driver. You'll catch right up. But based on the applause feedback from the audience at the Republican national debates, if there is a front runner in the Republican Party, that front runner is ISIS. And there you have it. That is your first monologue, folks. We have a great show for our first In the Meantime redo, new and deluxe edition, with all kinds of fancy schmancy stuff. We have our first guest, Dark Chic from Hood Slam, will be coming by, and we're going to have an interview with him. It's going to be awesome. And why are you looking at me like that, JR? What?
Well, he may or may not be here today.
So you're telling me we don't have a guest?
We got a guest, don't worry about that.
Okay. So Dark Chic's not, he's not,
Dark Chic's gonna be wrestling today, actually.
Wonderful. Alright, so Dark Chic won't be here, but according to my producer JR, who I trust, we will have a guest. So, okay. That being said, this is normally where a commercial break would show up, and we would transition from here to the chair, but we don't have that, so I'm just going to walk right over there. That's been our monologue, and there we go. And we're back. Welcome. So here at In the Meantime with Mean Dave, we have a segment called Ask Mean Dave, where I get questions from people all over the country, just wanting to know what the hell about certain things, about me or whatever they want to know. So here, today's questions. First one comes from Sarah in Rhode Island, and it is, What's it like to be a 40-year-old that lives at home with his parents? Where do you get these questions, man? Well, Sarah from Rhode Island, of course. I don't know how you find out your information, Sarah, but I'm not 40, I'm 39. And living at home with my parents. I love my parents. They're good. They're cool people. I don't recommend anybody else live with them because I'm living there. And I don't want to have more roommates. They're good. But it's... if your parents are cool, I guess it's not so bad. I had to move back there 5 years ago, thanks to drugs and alcohol, and yeah, got my act together in terms of getting sober about 2 years ago, and that made it a lot better. When you're an active drug addict and alcoholic, it probably puts a little more stress on living at home with your parents when you're in your 30s. So I don't recommend that, but yeah, it's not so bad, and save your money. And hopefully find roommates and move out if you can. But I say live with them as long as you can. Felons live at home with their parents. A lot of felons fresh out of the joint tend to live at home with their parents. In Europe, lots of families, it's common tradition that they spend generations living in the same house over centuries. So really it's just America that makes us feel like it's like a point of passage to have to move out of your parents' house. And that's because America wants all of your money and is just stealing your money from your paychecks. So really, you're just feeding the system moving out of your parents' house. So technically, I'm living in my parents' house out of defiance of capitalism. So fuck you. All right, fuck you, Sarah in Rhode Island. Next question. Trent from Ohio asks, have you had your annual prostate exam? I'm wondering if this is another stab at me for being close to 40, but you don't have your annual prostate exams until either your mid-40s to 50s, because that's when prostate cancer starts showing itself. But I have had one prostate exam recently, and let me just say, without going into too much detail, if you do have sex, gentlemen, make sure you ejaculate during sex, because if you have sex and do not ejaculate and don't masturbate on the regular, your dick can get backed up like traffic, and you may show symptoms of infection, but it won't be infection, it'll be inflammation. So learn that the hard way. So yeah, I didn't expect the prognosis from a doctor to be take 600 milligrams of ibuprofen 3 times a day with food and make sure to ejaculate at least once a day. But yeah, so I've had a prostate exam this past year, but it's not an annual one yet. That'll be another few more years. Thank you, Trent from Ohio. The last question we have is from Todd in Orange County. If I'm showing symptoms of an STD, can I still do hand stuff? I'm not an expert. I think it depends on, I guess it depends on the STD. I don't know what you mean by hand stuff. I imagine still, it's your body. You can masturbate all you want. If you're asking other people to do hand stuff for you, according to my last visit to the clinic, I don't think there's anything that's transferable from genitals to the hand to other genitals. But I'm not an expert, and I don't know why you would ask me. I would suggest going to your local clinic and asking somebody who should know that type of stuff. Where the fuck do you get these questions? Anyway, but that's Ask Me and Dave. That's been the first of what hopefully will be many more and better questions down the road. So yes, we're going to get ready to have our first guest here. In the meantime, I'm looking forward to this. JR, trusty producer friend. Who is our first guest?
That's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
He'll be right down here.
Okay. So he'll be right down. I don't know what we're going to do in the meantime on here in the meantime with me and Dave, but when's he getting here? So are we having a guest today, or?
Let me call him up real quick just to make sure he's going to be here.
All right.
Hey, you gonna come down for today's episode of In the Meantime? Okay. Yeah, see, I thought you were going to be back today. Okay. Well, I'll make something work. We'll get you another time. So, I lined up another guest. Not dark chic, but he'll do.
From what it sounds like, we don't have a guest today.
We have a guest. Don't worry about that.
Okay, who's our guest?
Well, you might recognize him if you lived through the 80s. He was played by someone named Robert Englund.
You have Freddy Krueger.
Yes. Yes, he's making an appearance today.
I don't think you have Freddy Krueger. What are you talking about? Look. This is today's guest. You're going to have me talk to a pillow. This is my... what questions am I supposed to ask a pillow?
Just ask the questions that you were going to ask the Sheik.
I'm sorry, folks. We'll make this work somehow. Alright, so your guest, Freddy Krueger on a pillow. So yeah, today's guest, a pillow with a Freddy Krueger patch on it. So, how did Hood Slam start? I'm sorry, JR, this is stupid. I don't understand how I'm supposed to interview a pillow. Are you an actual Sheik? No, you're a fucking pillow. This is. How do you expect me to interview a pillow, JR?
Just make it work.
How am I supposed to make it work?
Bring it to life.
Bring it. It's a fucking pillow, man. Even the picture of Robert Englund looks like what the fuck. I don't understand. Well, that's our guest, and I'm grateful. Thank you, Freddy Krueger Pillow, for being our guest here at In the Meantime. Our first welcome back. What a fucking welcome back. All right, we'll be back with we have a comedian, wonderful comedian dropping by here In the Meantime. Up next, we got a great comedian from around the Bay Area to perform here in the kitchen. Please slap your hand flesh together for Jeremy Talamontes, everybody.
Hey, whoa! Oh man, so good to be here. What's up? Always wanted to perform in the kitchen, Dave. I don't know. Saw some lady reading the Bible on her tablet. I was like, oh shit, it's come full circle. Let's put it back on the tablet. You know, pretty crazy. I'm not that religious. People always like say too much weird shit. They're always like, oh, the Lord is our shepherd and we are his sheep. It's like, dude, you find comfort in that? You know, shepherds don't just get sheep because they like hanging out with sheep, right? It's like, dude, they fucking kill and eat those things. That makes you wonder what the Lord's real plan is. No one knows what he's up to. He's probably like, yeah, be fruitful, multiply. I want seconds. All I'm saying is don't go towards the light. That's the refrigerator. Jesus only saves you for later. That's all he's doing. Half Mexican. A lot of people can't tell because I don't speak any Spanish. Like, I want to. But it's so time consuming to learn another language. I just wish it was laying dormant within me. You know, someone would cut me off in traffic. I'd be like, pinche pendejo! Dios mío! Es imposible! My father would appear in the clouds like, Jeremy, you cannot run from who you are. I'd be like, hey, you're still alive, Dad. See you at home. I love you. Yep. Work on a food truck. Which means I've done drugs on a food truck.
Smoke weed every day.
Restaurant job. My coworkers always bitching about tips because we don't get any because I give shitty service. It's like, dude, not everyone deserves tips. I like tips, I don't deserve them. I smoke weed and make sandwiches.
Smoke weed every day.
Like, I'd be doing that anyways. You know? Sure, give me your fucking $1. One time I got so high I burned my hand on the stove. I was so high I didn't even say ow. I was like, ooh. Cool, it kept showing up. It's just what we do. It's the family business, you know. My dad worked in kitchens. You guys all met him in that one joke I did. My grandfather did too. My grandfather's a hero, Mexican-American hero. My grandfather was the dishwasher that invented letting it soak. Yeah, everyone thought he was fucking lazy. No, he's too far ahead of his time. Jebediah Eduardo Talamantes III showed the world those dishes would do themselves. Kind of. He's a hero. But in the end, he was fired for what he believed in. Alright guys, thanks so much. I'm Jared Talamantes. I gotta go. Bye.
Alright. And that was your comedian, Jeremy Talamantes. And that concludes your first In the Meantime with me, Dave. Episode 14, The Fart Awakens. We're back. Redone edition. Batman Begins. Whatever other reboots that you've witnessed. All that shit. J.J. Abrams directed this. And we'll be back next week. Or whenever we do another episode. Hopefully with a fucking guest this time. Right, JR? Alright. Thank you. Fuck off. Have a great day.
We know we want. This is